Welcome to lesson number 2 on trial and improvement. This time we're going to solve more complex questions. In fact, we're going to be doing today quadratic equations, solving them through trial and improvement. Now, to start with, we'll have a little recap of the lessons that we've done so far, and that's just a quite simple, straightforward, squared sum. And here it is. Remember, before we start on this, you can pause the video at any time. So let's have a look at the first question anyway. X squared and 52 goes on the top. Now we're going to take any value of x and then we're going to square it and see whether it's bigger or smaller. Well, let's start with one that's sensible, that's around the 52. Well, I know that 7 squared is 49, which is a little bit too small. So we're going to choose the next number up, which is 8. 8 squared is 64, which is too big. Now it's up to you whether you look at this here and say, okay, well, halfway between 7 and 8 is 7.5, but what you could see is that actually this is closer. 52 is actually closer to 49 than it is 64, and you could go with a number like 7.2. I'm going to do that just to see how far off we are. So I'm going to do 7.2 and I'm going to square it, and my answer is 51.84. Now this is slightly too small, so I'm now going to move it up slightly until it becomes too big. So let's have a look. 7.3 squared is 53.29. So it's now a little bit too big. Whereas the first case we knew it was between these two values, we now know that it's between these two values. So I'm going to pick the number that goes right in between here. Remember, I'm only looking for the answer to one decimal place, but just to check to see which one it's closest to, I'm going to take the number between 7.2 and 7.3, which is 7.25. If I have 7.25 and I square it, you get the answer 52.5625, which is too big. Now, because this is too big, we now know that our answer to one decimal place is actually the small number here. Sorry, to one decimal place is actually the small number there. So our answer, x, is equal to 7.2 to 1 decimal place. Because remember, if it's big here, then we take the small one in between. And let's have a look at the next question. This time it's an example, and you can see we've taken it a little bit further. Instead of just having the x squared, we've now added an extra term in. But that shouldn't change us from our table. We just have x, and now in this group we have x squared plus 2x. And we're looking to see if it's 19 or bigger or smaller. Well, at the moment I haven't a clue, so I'm just going to pick a number at random. Now if I pick 4, we know that 4 squared is 16, and 2 times 4 is 8. So when we add them together, we get 16 plus 8, which is 24, which is too big. See how this area here links in with the numbers above. This is just the way I do it. Some books will show you a different method. But now my answer has been written here. But I still keep this, is it too big or too small? Well, if 4 was too big, that means I need to now try 3. 3 squared is 9, and 2 times 3 is 6. When I add them together, I get 15, and that's too small. So now I'm going to try a number. As it happens, it appears to be pretty much in between. So let's have a look. 3.5. This might work, this might not. Let's give it a try. 3.5 squared is 12.25. And when we add that on to 2 times 3.5, which is 7, we get 19.25, which is a little bit too big. So we know now that I need to move my answer a little bit lower just to see how we get on. So 3.4 squared is 11.56. And when I add that to 6.8, we get made a mistake on the calculator, sorry. 11.56 plus 6.8, we get 18.36, which is too small. So our answer has to lie somewhere between here. So just to check, we're going to pick the number that's right in the middle of there, which is 3.45. 3.45 squared is 11.9025, and we're going to add that to 2 times 3.45, which is 6.9, and when we add them together you get 18.8025, which is too small. But it does tell us that our correct answer is this one here, to 1 decimal place. So x equals 3.5 to 1 decimal place. The video at any time, attempt the answer, and remember to bring in your notes as well as the answer at the next lesson. The better your notes, the better grade you will achieve overall. So well done, and bring in your notes.